Rolodex to book the show, the way hosts like Simmons and Pod Save America guys do. The person who worked in media projects says the assumption was Meghan's going to be on the phone with the Pope tomorrow. The former Spotify employee says in addition to Taylor Swift, they heard rumors that Beyoncé and Megan Thee Stallion were asked to come on the show and decline. Other people who worked on the podcast also say they heard some of those names mentioned, though a source close to the situation says Megan Thee Stallion's team knew nothing about any request. We also learned more of Duchess' difficult accusations with someone described as a person who interacted with her professionally, saying, "You can be yelled at even if somebody doesn't raise their voice. It's funny that people don't differentiate between the energy of being yelled at and literally somebody screaming at you." Peel adds, two sources say a colleague with ties to Archetypes took a leave of absence after working on 3 episodes, then left Gimlet altogether. Several others described taking extended breaks from work to escape scrutiny, exiting their job, or undergoing long-term therapy after working with Meghan. The person who interacted professionally with her says, "I think if Meghan acknowledged her own shortcomings or personal contributions to situations rather than staying trapped in a victim narrative, her perception might be better." They added, with the soggy laugh of a plebe rendering judgment on the Duchess of Sussex, but who am I to criticize Meghan Markle? She's doing great. A source told the Daily Beast, "I feel the world's greatest boss should be ashamed of themselves. It's obviously very tempting to work for her when you are being wooed and love-bombed, but people should be in no doubt she is a nightmare. I would think the atmosphere will be particularly hellish now everything is going to crap. She doesn't do disappointment well." Many royal watchers are wondering why Vanity Fair has switched sides on Meghan and Harry. In the Daily Mail, Tom Leonard explains, "One answer is that it's reflecting the changing mood of the US media, which, once the couple's greatest champions, in recent times has turned sour. As it has shifted over time from fawning to frosty in its attitude to the Sussexes, the US press can console itself that the British media did precisely the same in the 2 years or so between their marriage and abrupt departure to North America. As the couple who tries so hard to win hearts and headlines discovered once more that there's only so much Sussex virtuousness that any country can take." Royal watchers believe the Vanity Fair piece could be devastating for the Sussexes. Royal author Tom Bower said, "Having strongly denied the accusations that she bullied her staff in Kensington Palace, the revival of her image of the difficult Duchess who torments her staff into seeking therapy to alleviate the misery of working for Meghan is a disaster just on the eve of the launch of Netflix's With Love, Meghan. Having invested so much to rebrand herself as a loving, caring Californian mother and wife, the VF disclosures have poisoned the smiling image of the welcoming homemaker. It's a bad weekend." Royal commentator Richard Fitzwilliams adds, "Harry is portrayed as lost, out of his depth and naive. The Sussexes are attempting to project a caring image by helping some of those affected by the cataclysmic wildfires currently ravaging California. They won't get far after publicity is given to this. Her With Love, Meghan cookery series is, judging from the trailer, saccharine and silly. Unenthusiastic online reaction might make the streaming giant think twice and dump it, and when their contract runs out later in the year, preserve very little of it, if any. They, especially Meghan, now have a lot to answer. Nobody likes bullies, especially entitled bullies." PR expert Nick Eade also weighed in, "They don't seem to be able to do anything right in the eyes of the media, but now it seems in the eyes of their neighbours too." For such a well-respected publication to go all out against the couple is bound to have negative effects on their brand and status, and all eyes will be on them to see what happens next. Their brand keeps on getting back.
Well, we call this the inverse Sputnik moment, where Sputnik in 1957 caused the space race and massive spending. Now we have potentially an event that causes the reverse, causes the reverse Sputnik, which is less spending, and we have to see what happens, John. There's a couple dynamics here, okay? So the common sense reaction is sort of what happened today. I mean, CapEx is going to fall off a cliff, if not this year, then next.
Hello and welcome to Palace Intrigue. I'm your host, Mark Francis. Speculation is swirling about a potential thaw in the icy relationship between King Charles and Prince Harry, thanks to the rumoured departure of Sir Clive Alderton, Charles' longtime aide and a figure Harry reportedly despises. In his memoir, Spare, Harry dubbed Alderton the Wasp, describing him as a master of passive aggression with a penchant for striking unexpectedly. Harry painted a vivid picture of the aide as a lanky, charming, arrogant, and adept at feigning politeness before delivering his infamous sting. This characterization left no doubt about Harry's animosity towards one of Buckingham Palace's key players. Now, Sir Clive is reportedly considering retirement, a move that some royal insiders believe could pave the way for reconciliation between Harry and his father. Princess Diana's biographer, Tina Brown, writing in her Fresh Hell Substack blog, suggested that Alderton's exit might create a new, friendlier path for negotiations. Meanwhile, Emily Andrew, royal correspondent for Woman magazine, added fuel to the fire, speculating that Sir Clive might even... Hello and welcome to Palace Intrigue. I'm your host, Mark Francis. Speculation is swirling about a potential thaw in the icy relationship between King Charles and Prince Harry, thanks to the rumoured departure of Sir Clive Alderton, Charles' longtime aide and a figure Harry reportedly despises. In his memoir, Spare, Harry dubbed Alderton the Wasp, describing him as a master of passive aggression with a penchant for striking unexpectedly. Harry painted a vivid picture of the aide as a lanky, charming, arrogant, and adept at feigning politeness before delivering his infamous sting. This characterization left no doubt about Harry's animosity towards one of Buckingham Palace's key players. Now, Sir Clive is reportedly considering retirement, a move that some royal insiders believe could pave the way for reconciliation between Harry and his father. Princess Diana's biographer, Tina Brown, writing in her Fresh Hell Substack blog, suggested that Alderton's exit might create a new, friendlier path for negotiations. Meanwhile, Emily Andrew, royal correspondent for Woman magazine, added fuel to the fire, speculating that Sir Clive might even be in the running for the position of US ambassador. She noted that his departure could eliminate a major obstacle in mending the fractured bond between Charles and Harry. While Sir Clive has been a critical figure in Charles' inner circle for nearly 2 decades, his alleged role in deepening the rift between Harry and the royal household cannot be ignored, with Harry reportedly eager to reconcile after years of tension, exacerbated by his move to California in 2020 with Meghan Markle. Alderton's rumoured departure could mark a turning point. For now, Buckingham Palace has remained tight-lipped on the matter, leaving royal watchers to wonder whether the king and his youngest son might finally find common ground without the Wasp buzzing around. Zara and Mike Tyndall are reportedly ready to answer the call if Prince William needs them, according to royal expert Jenny Bond. The couple have seen their popularity soar thanks to their relatable charm and down-to-earth demeanour. Despite not holding royal titles, their connection to the monarchy remains strong. Speaking to GB News, Bond highlighted the Tyndalls' unique position within the royal family. They obviously have the cachet of being so much part of the extended royal family, she explained, adding that they've managed to leverage their royal ties commercially without controversy. While the Tyndalls enjoy the freedom of private life, Bond suggests they are happy to lend their support to William if needed, as they did during a garden party last year. However, she clarified this wouldn't extend to official working royal roles, noting, "Nor do I think the public would want to fund any more working royals." Lord Ivor Mountbatten, King Charles' second cousin and the first openly gay member of the extended royal family, is part of the cast of The Traitors Season 3. The reality competition hosted by Alan Cumming pits contestants against each other in a mix of strategy, deception, and alliances. Mountbatten's appearance marks his latest foray into reality television, following his role in Keeping Up with the Aristocrats, a behind-the-scenes look at Britain's aristocracy. His family ties place him as second cousin to King Charles and a first cousin once removed to Prince Philip. Despite his royal lineage, Mountbatten's life has been anything but conventional for the British aristocracy. After marrying Penelope Thompson in 1994 and having 3 daughters, the couple separated in 2010, and he later came out as gay in 2016. 2 years later, he made history by marrying James Coyle, a flight attendant, in the first same-sex marriage within the extended royal family. On The Traitors, Mountbatten will compete alongside stars from shows like Survivor and RuPaul's Drag Race. Americans can find the program on Peacock. More Palace in just a moment. PR expert Renee Smith is impressed by the latest incarnation of Meghan, telling The Express, "Meghan's recent ventures are quite the spectacle. It's been a great treat to see how they've been received. At first glance, the meticulously curated posts, the running on the beach, drawing 2025 in the sand with the giggle at the end, and the show's polished trailer might seem overly saccharine, perhaps even contrived. However, this alignment with the influencer archetype appears to be Meghan finally embracing her authentic self. After years of striving for a more profound public persona, she's now presenting a version that resonates with her true inclinations. The lavish settings at a hired mansion, the idealized portrayals of domestic bliss, and the aspirational lifestyle content are not deviations, but rather reflections of her genuine brand identity. This approach seems to cater to an audience that views such opulence as the pinnacle of aspiration. For once, it screams on brand. From a PR perspective, I actually think this is a smart long-term move for her. In PR, while we can shape narratives and use a bit of smoke and mirrors, working with someone who's being authentic makes the job infinitely easier. Crafting Meghan's story as a lifestyle aspirational influencer for her target demographic would be one of the easiest parts of this job because it finally feels aligned with who she truly is. In The Express, Mieka Smiles tells us, "I'll just put it out there, I'm no Meghan Markle fan." Smiles writes, "I hate to judge people without knowing them, but I have made up my mind that the Sussexes sold their family down the river with their infamous bombshell accusations. It was a pretty dreadful deed that I think will tarnish them forever. I have done my best to inform myself to arrive at my verdict on the pair. I have read the books, watched the documentaries, listened to Meghan's ill-fated podcast, and I feel I need extra credit for this one, even attempted to watch Polo, the couple's latest Netflix flop.